Welcome back to Monster Month here on It Figures. And if you've been with us most of this month, or all the month hopefully, you will know that It Figures has now turned into Horror Month, where we are doing horror figures and other things all month long. And tonight we're going to go down in the sewers and see if we can find any kind of clown named Pennywise. So once again, this is a NECA figure. And I haven't had too much success with NECA figures in the past, or even this month. If you watch some of my other reviews, they've kind of, fallen apart and been broken every time I open them up. So I am really hoping that that doesn't happen with this figure, because it looks so cool and the sculpting on it is phenomenal. When they first announced this, I was like, okay, I know NECA will be able to sculpt this thing, but as the quality of it, that's what worries me. So we're about to find out what the quality of the clown is here in a minute. But the packaging is fantastic. They do a really good job of showing off the figure and making the back of the box pretty cool. The balloons here, obviously, he's holding, has all the other images of the figure in it on the back. On the side is a pretty creepy picture of Pennywise. In the front, with just a kid wearing the rain slicker and barely seeing the clown in the background holding a red balloon. All of that looks fantastic. And this thing has a whopping price tag of $30, as you can see, because the only place I could find this was at GameStop. And I think even in regular retail stores like Target that they're now selling these are still probably around $30, $35 for this figure. So that's why I'm hoping the quality of the figure is there for that kind of price tag, and we are about to find out. So let's unleash Pennywise to the world. There is no question, and I mean zero question, on how good the artists are over at NECA. Because looking at this figure, if you probably didn't know this was a figure, you'd possibly think, oh hey, that's the character from It standing here. The only thing that might give it away is the hair, but just the face sculpture alone and the clothes and the textures here are probably the best sculpt I have ever seen come from this company. And I don't mind spending $30 on something like this, which is just an absolute work of art. This is as good as it gets. Unless you were spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars on something like, say, a Sideshow figure or something to get all the details. And if you bought this from Sideshow, it would obviously be like a 12-inch figure, and all this would be real cloth and everything. But you know what? I don't need that, because I have this, and this is probably one of the best horror figures I've ever bought. It is that good. I mean, just take a look at the face here for a minute. You can see the orange eyes, the teeth, the nose, the cracks up here in the forehead. It's, again, I can't say enough on how amazing this sculpt is. It's just blowing me away right now. As for the rest of the figure, it's as good, if not better, than the actual face sculpt. Seriously, if you were looking at this, it would look like cloth to you. I can't express it any more than that. This looks like real cloth. It does not look like sculpted plastic. And you have his skirt here, and then he actually has another skirt that's underneath that skirt. It's part of his pants. And then you have the wrap of the pants, and then the bottom of the pants here with the tassels on it, and his clown shoes. Which, I guess you can see these in the movie, but seeing this in detail now, and actually seeing what they did to the clown and the costume they put on it, and the actual details they put into the costume and the character himself, are just so impressive. And that's one of the reasons why I like getting these figures. Like way back a year or so ago, I reviewed The Flash. And I love the Flash's costume on screen, but you never really got to see the detail. And just like this, you can sit here and just look at the crazy amount of detail they put into the costume for the film, which they captured here perfectly. Now, as for the joints here, I am so happy to say, no loose joints here on Pennywise. They're all solid joints like they should be. They have the movement here in the shoulder is ball jointed, the head is ball jointed, even though you can't really move it that well because of the collar. I like how they sort of hid the joints here in the elbows, so you can't really see them that well. The one hand here is just a flat hand, which obviously moves. The other hand here, I think, is designed to hold the balloon that comes with him. His waist turns, and his legs actually turn, and they're about as loose as they should be. They're not overly loose, but they're loose enough to where you can get the figure to stand. And once again, they sort of hid the knee joints with not any big weird holes or pegs or anything in them, and that's really great to see. You get another movement down here by the shin, right underneath the knee, and the actual feet also bend and turn. So overall articulation, paint, sculpt, this is the best. I mean, the absolute best I have ever seen from NECA, and I can finally applaud them for bringing out something that is this phenomenal, this well made, and it's not broken or messed up. So very well done, NECA. This actually comes with 2 other head sculpts. I guess that one wasn't as phenomenal enough. This comes with 2 more, and this is serious Pennywise. He's not smiling, he's just staring at you with this serious look on his face. And I don't know which one I like better. I mean, this is a nice one, and I do like the smiling one too. But just like the other one, the sculpt on this one is great. And here you can show off the hair a little bit more. It's a really nice sculpt on the hair, you know, even though you can't even see the bottom of it with the collar on that much. But again, the paint on this, the sculpt, love the orange eyes. I mean, it's hard to see, but they're perfect. I mean, they did an amazing job with those eyes. So yeah, this is the Pennywise of, hey, I'm about to kill you. Now we got the monster one here with the teeth coming out. And this one is not as good, I don't think, as the other 2. I mean, it's still well done. It's still really creepy. I like that they extended the teeth out there rather than just having them in the mouth. And, you know, this is basically monster Pennywise. This is the monster clown coming after you now. So, otherwise, other than that, it looks like the rest of the sculpt is exactly the same. I think the hair is exactly the same on every one of them. So, and it looks like they basically just kind of either changed the face or they glued the face in here and kept the hair the same. But either way, it's nice to actually have a completely different sculpt of the face. But not just one and not just 2, but to have 3 different sculpts of this incredible face. I guess it's worth the $30. So here comes the balloon that he holds. The red balloon that the clown likes so much. And this is a balloon. I mean, sculpt wise, it looks like a balloon. It does have a really big seam that's going down the front of it, and it looks like you can probably see through it. I don't know if it's clear plastic. It's not hard plastic, I don't think, but it does have the tie off down here, and the cord is actually made out of sort of like a bendy type of weird metal that he can hold. So I haven't tried to have him hold the balloon yet, so I don't know how well that works with him holding it. But yeah, it's a really nice extra. And of course you had to have the balloon. So this answers my question. This is the hand that is holding the balloon and has a hole there. So you can just put the cord down in the hole so it looks like he's holding the balloon. And this is another hand that goes on the other side, another open hand. Last up here we have the SS Georgie boat, which is great that they included this. This is the boat that, you know, obviously that Bill makes Georgie, that goes down the street, and that's how he ends up meeting the crazy clown in the sewer. But a great sculpt here. It looks like he made it out of paper. It's very well detailed. It has a seam that goes up the center, and even has the name here, SS Georgie, written on it. Alright, so I got the balloon in his hand, and that makes it even look better. And I really like how they did that. It does look like it's just kind of floating out there. It's sort of like a magic trick of, wow, that's weird. How are they doing that? I did pull the hand off and replaced it with the other one. And doing that always scares me because I always figure I'm going to break the hand. And getting this other one on here, it's not fitting too well. It's on there, but if I fiddle with it, it just falls off. So it's just going to stay on there because I do like this look of him holding the balloon. And just like the overall look of this figure here without the extra heads or anything. So overall, this is a 5 out of 5 figure. Actually, it's a 10 out of 5 figure. It's that good. And I know NECA is capable of doing things like this, and that's why I keep giving them my money and keep investing in the company so they can create amazing sculpts and amazing figures like this. It's just a lot of times they don't, and a lot of these figures just fall apart and break. So like the last 3 out of the 5 I've had have literally been broken, but I am so glad this one is not. This one is pristine, it's in great condition, the paint is fantastic, and as I keep saying, it's probably one of the best figures I have ever bought. So if you're a fan of this movie, a fan of the clown in this film, and just a fan of horror films in general, this is the one that you must have. This is a must-own figure. And I hardly ever say that. I hardly ever say, just run out and buy this thing right now. But I'm telling you, yeah, just run out and buy this thing right now, because it's that good. So hopefully you like this review. And we are doing horror reviews for figures and other things all month long for Horror Month and Monster Month that's happening on this channel, Box Office Maniacs. And if you want to be one of our maniacs, make sure you hit that subscribe button, because we love to have as many maniacs as humanly possible on here, especially through Horror Month. And I love reading your comments, and I try to respond to all the ones that you send me. Sometimes I get too busy, but most of the time I try to respond. So thank you for watching this review. So have a happy October, and may it be really, really spooky.